And so, on something very interesting, there has been a couple of things that have left fans, with a lot of questions, especially surrounding Umuthi Records, of which you guys probably know about the record label, because Black Diamond introduced it as their label, introducing Uspatle as their first signee, of which they explained how they signed it on Metro FM when they were introducing their second signee, Mlungis.
Uspatle sambona online is really in line. And it descends out with the vision that we have for the music. So some far lapho ukuthi ingane semlazi sahamba somcela ukuthi khona ingane yakhe sibonayo ukuthi enza kanjena sicela ukuthi ibe part of Umuthi Records because we have a vision and we feel like we're opening a space for abantu abafuna ukuba ne-voice in South Africa. We have a platform, so while we're still hot, and let's just provide the platform for zonke ingane lezinganalo i-voice ukuthi be part of this vision and make sure we do this thing right. So that's how we came about to this battle.
And now there has been, interesting developments, as I said, because one, it seems the self-proclaimed founders of Umuthi Records have left Umuthi Records to start a new record label. This is because when they announced the departure from Ambitiouz, I went and actually dug up who owns Umuthi Records, mainly because I thought it was their record label because they say so themselves, and I found out that Ambitiouz was also involved in it, and I made a video about it. And those guys came back to disrespectfully say that I was not doing proper research and I should have come to the source instead of gossiping, which was, something that was very unexpected. But to account, I did see a name difference there, but having studied law, I know that there can be a difference between the registered name and the trade name, hence we have trademarks. But most importantly, in my head, I was thinking that you can't really leave your own record label, and that is why I assumed their new music was under Umuthi Records, because that was their own record label, they said so. And now, to put this into perspective, let us imagine, for example, ENQUIRIES was a record label called Revenge Club Records, of which I've also covered it, and I've also mentioned the fact that the CIPC has listed ENQUIRIES, J. Jody, and some other guy, of which I'm assuming is TK, as directors of that company. Imagine if ENQUIRIES left that record label and started Revenge Tavern Records. And I made a video sort of linking him with Revenge Club Records. I am of the view that the best response would be for him to say that, man, that record label that I said I had started, I actually left and I now have this record label. Those guys acted like they never actually went on radio and said they own Umuthi Records. They put it out as gossip, of which, I kind of just let it die down because I didn't want to, be setting problems or whatever. But it had turned out that the self-proclaimed founders of that label had actually left that label and started another label called Umuthi OTT. After that, it seems the artist that they said they signed, Uspatle, also dropped music under Ambitiouz Entertainment, of which she also featured Mlungisi, who we knew as a guy that was signed under Umuthi Records, of which people flooded the comments asking what was going on because those artists were supposed to be under Umuthi Records. Another thing is that the company is also in the deregistration process because it has not filed the annual returns for 2 years in a row, of which after the third year, they'll be knocked out. So it seems like the company is no longer operational, the self-proclaimed founders have left, the artists they said they signed are now under Ambitiouz, which made people question whether or not Black Diamond really owned anything there or they were just used as fronts. Or maybe there was a genuine partnership. Because for example, with Rap Life, even though Nota said that they were partners, he said that in the end, all the equity went to Leroy.
None of that money I had access to or control of because I was not the owner of the company. You know what I mean? Even though from inside, we were promised, okay, fine, we're going to split up the equity. X is going to have this much equity, Senzo's going to have this much equity, Nota's going to have this much equity, Leroy's going to have this much equity. All of the equity was Leroy's. It was his company. He had all the accounts and everything else. All the money was flowing into accounts he controlled. And when it all came down to it, I obviously had my record label. My former partner, he's the guy who's now managing Big Zulu. That's why Big Zulu, you see him driving around in Questa's old age one.
But either way, you guys tell me what you think could have happened here. Do you guys think Ambitiouz actually was the owner of Umuthi Records? Do you guys think those guys were in a partnership with Black Diamond? Do you guys think Black Diamond ever owned anything? Do you guys think they were a front? I will not comment, but you guys tell me what you think about it. The only thing at this point that I'm sure about is the fact that Umuthi Records is in the deregistration process. Those artists are now dropping under Ambitiouz. The self-proclaimed founders now have their own record label. You guys tell me what you think about it. Comment down below. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up.